It's officially Wednesday, which means they are one day away from Game 6.
You're Locked On Hurricanes, your daily podcast on the Carolina Hurricanes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to a Wednesday edition of Locked On Hurricanes, your team every day, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you to the Everydayer for making this your first listen of the day, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, talking everything about your Carolina Hurricanes. I am your host, Zach Martin. I am the Carolina Hurricanes beat writer over at the Hockey Writers. I also write for the Calder Times, which goes over everything in the AHL. I am also the co-host of the Surge Cast, which is a weekly Carolina Hurricanes podcast, along with all my duties here at Locked On Hurricanes. Got a very fun Wednesday episode for you all as we are going over some post-game quotes from Game 5 that were not featured on the Tuesday show just because I'm being released and all that stuff after recording. Also going to talk about Rod Brind'Amour's Tuesday Media Day, where he had some quotes and talk about certain things that he saw from the team as well. And we're also going to wrap up the show with a little bit of Jake Guentzel stats that we've seen with his time with the Carolina Hurricanes since joining the team back on March 7th, the day before the trade deadline. So before we get into all that, today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 with any winning $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. So, like I said, to start the show, we're going to go over some go over some post-game quotes from Game 5, and even got some quotes today as well from some players, especially from Jordan Martinook. And so, going to start off with last night's quotes and talking about the fact that, talking of Evgeny Kuznetsov following the win on Monday night to extend the series another game. Evgeny Kuznetsov said, going into the third period, you realize that it could be the last period of this year. You don't want to have that feeling. I'm so grateful for the way we were able to come back and win the game. And you could definitely tell that the Hurricanes really wanted to come out firing for Game 3, like we talked about for Tuesday's show. It's just the fact that way they were down 1-0, gave up that shorthanded goal, and then were just able to get the one from Jordan Staal to tie it. Got the game winner for Evgeny Kuznetsov, and then Jordan Martinook gets him the cushion, and then Martinook just hits him with the dagger. So, yeah, for the fact that Evgeny Kuznetsov in back-to-back games has scored a goal, and the one that really mattered in Game 5 was the game winner to give them the lead and the win. And it shows that he was right. Like, you're going into the third period, you're down 1. Technically it's your last period, because if you lose that game, your season's over. And just for the fact that it was the captain himself on the YouTube site still got the Jordan Staal jersey, if that jersey's going to stay up on the wall until whatever happens in Game 6, we might switch to a different one, depending on what the Hurricanes, hopefully they do one on Thursday night. But yeah, right now the Jordan Staal jersey is staying up on the wall. But there was that man who started the epic comeback for the Hurricanes. I mean, granted, it was only 1-0, but he basically kicked off what was a really great third period for the Hurricanes. Yeah, so just for the fact that Evgeny Kuznetsov said it perfectly, is the fact that they were able to come back, win the game the way they do for 4 unanswered goals in the third period. And speaking about Jordan Staal himself, Rod Brind'Amour, spoke, in a really great manner about Jordan Staal, just glowingly about him, just loving the fact of what he did and how good he is as a captain. Jordan Staal said, I just love that people got to see in that game what he can do and what he means to this team. That was vintage Jordan Staal. And he's very much so correct. You look at a lot of people on that goal, all over social media that night, even Penguins fans, that seen him play, or even non-Penguins fans, just, casual fans who've, seen Jordan Staal play since he entered the league and, has been with the Penguins, and he's been with the Hurricanes. And the fact that was vintage Jordan Staal, powered his way to the front of the net, got some, he does have some good hands when he really needs to. And we saw that a lot last year, and we saw it in this season too. Like, he has some good hands, and if he makes it work, he's able to get in close to the net, do, really knows how to deke it very well and has some good hands, and just the way he was able to put it past Shesterkin. And like what Rod Brind'Amour said, that was a very vintage Jordan Staal goal, and that's the one that kind of sparks the team. That's a goal that you really need to get the team going. And that's what you saw in Game 5, is the fact that he was able to go do that when he did, kickstarted the team. And we all know what happened in Game 5. The Hurricanes, like I said, scored 4 straight, 1-4-1, and now they forced a Game 6 on Thursday night. And just the fact that it was, the captain to do it, he led the way, and the fact that you had a former Carolina Hurricanes captain in Rod Brind'Amour won the cup for the team back in 2006, saying that the fact that you got to see how much he means to the team, and the fact that he was able to do what he needed to do, and kind of tap into that old school Jordan Staal style of goal scoring, you'll take that any day of the week. So it's good to see that. Yes, you look at Jordan Staal through, you want to talk about regular season and the playoffs and all of that. I mean, it's one of the things, like right now in the playoffs, Jordan Staal only has 2 points in 10 games, a goal and assist. Yes, I mean, it is what it is. It's not just something that, he's not someone who's going to score a lot of points for you and stuff like that. And we can all see it. I mean, for the regular season, like, he got 10 goals and 20 assists for 30 points. Yes, he finished the minus 14. It's not, what you really want to see, but that's just Jordan Staal for you. I mean, if you look at his overall career, especially with Carolina, you're talking the most points that he had in the season was 48 back in the 15-16 season, where he had 20 goals, 28 assists for 48 points. That was in 82 games, and he finished with a +6. So and that was, a string of 3 straight 45-plus point seasons, where 16, 17, and 45, and then 17, 18, he had 46. So it's, you're still talking about a guy who's got 285 goals in his career, 675 points, 390 assists in 1,253 games, and he does have a career +47. So, yeah, Jordan Staal never really hit 50 in his career. That's not really his style. He's more a defensive, forward, who can score when he needs to, and that's why he's up for the Selke finally. He's finally getting that recognition, for the first time, since 2008, 2009 was with the Penguins. So it's one of those things where, and, Rod Brind'Amour said it a bunch, Mike Maniscalco and Shane Wilson both said it too. Yeah, yes, he doesn't score a lot of points, but that's not his game. His game is to be a really good face-off guy, supposed to lead the team in the face-off category. He's, a player that shuts down the other team's best players on the forward core, and you see that all the time with everyone's talked about it for the last couple of years. With him, Jordan Martinook together have been playing really well, and then you had at one point Niederreiter on their side. You also had Jesper Foss. Now they've had Seth Jarvis. It's just the fact that the Jordans, and especially Jordan Staal, he is your shutdown forward because he can play that defensive game really well. And when he does score for you, he will score. So yes, he did only score 10 goals. He only got 30 points in the regular season, but that's his game is a lot more nuanced than just, okay, what are you doing on the score sheet? And that's the thing I really want to take away too from Jordan Staal, is the fact that, yes, this league is a very, what have you done for me recently? What's your production like and stuff like that. But the thing is, like, you're not going to have, an entire forward core scoring 20 plus goals. That's tough because, no team has that kind of money to be able to pay 12 forwards who can score 20, 25 plus goals. That's just hard to do. So, you're going to have some of those guys who, don't score 20 goals, but, can really play a good, more so maybe a two-way or more defensive game, a 200-foot style type game. And, can win face-offs on offensive zone, defensive zone, neutral. They can play a game where it goes beyond the score sheet. And that's someone that Jordan Staal is. He's more of a score sheet type guy. He's the guy that you need there for penalty kill, shutting down the top line guys and stuff like that. And just leading by example. And that's someone who Jordan Staal is. He's led by example. That's why he's been the captain for so long, is the fact that, he does a lot more than just what the score sheet says. And I know it's one of those things where he's not a rah type guy. He's not going to get in your face about it. He's not a Brady Tkachuk. He's no Brad Marchand and stuff like that. He's a more of a quiet guy, but he does his job, and he does it every night. And Rod Brind'Amour says that as long as you're doing your job, if you don't show up on the score sheet, that's fine. But as long as you're doing your job, that's what matters. And that's what Jordan Staal is. He's a guy who comes in, day out, and does his job. Plus, minus, it wasn't great in the regular season, but honestly, the Hurricanes still played really well, and he's still doing what he needs to do. And that's why, Rod Brind'Amour really trusts him, and that's why a lot of the guys in the locker room love Jordan Staal as their captain. So just to see a vintage Jordan Staal get the goal that kickstarted Game 5 is something you love to see. And like I said, Jordan Staal is one of those guys where his game just goes beyond the stat sheet. It's doing the little things. It's doing the things that, isn't going to pop up there, but you need a guy like that. And it's good to see that it's the captain who's one of those guys that does the little things, but when he does something really awesome, you see it. And that's what you saw in Game 5, which ESPN did release their ratings, and the average. So the Hurricanes and Rangers game for Game 5 Monday night averaged 1.8 million viewers, and it actually peaked at 2.3, which is something that's really cool to see for the fact that they were able to go and do something like that, where it's one of those things where you see a lot of fans, grasp onto that 2.3 million at the peak with a 1.8 million average for a Game 5. You'll take that. And the fact that a lot of people got to see who Jordan Staal is, that makes it so much better. So the last quote just coming off of Game 5, it was Jordan Martinook on earlier Tuesday morning. They asked him about the mood of the team after last night's final horn to end Game 5. Jordan Martinook said, "You're just happy. We're fighting for our lives every game. We gave ourselves a chance to play another game and gave ourselves a chance to hopefully come back to New York. We're just pumped for each other." And that's something that, it's the fact that this team, and I said it for Tuesday's episode, they fought another day. They went 1-0 that day. They did what they needed to do to keep extending the series, and that's all you have to do is be happy, and that your job's not over. It's you now have another do or die game once again for Game 6, but the fact that you got yourselves there to now, you go home, you take care of business at Game 6, and hopefully you force another one. You forced a Game 7 on Saturday night, and you put yourself back to an even level playing field. And that's all you can do. Just be happy about the fact that you put yourselves back where you need to, and that's where the Hurricanes are at right now. And that's something that means so much to those guys, and it means a lot to the fans as well. So it doesn't go past Jordan Martinook and the team that you're just happy that the fact that you did what you needed to do, you came back, you forced another game, you have another day, and now they go back in front of the loudest barn in the NHL to the Caniacs and PNC Arena, and that roof is going to be blown off the place, and it's going to be an electric game. So just to see what that team has done is phenomenal. And the job's not done. Gotta go 1-0 on Thursday like they did on Saturday for Game 4, and then Monday night for Game 5. Just go 1-0 and be plus 1% better every single day. So we're also going to go through talking about Rod Brind'Amour's media day on Tuesday and see what his overall thoughts were from Game 5 and just all other aspects as well. We'll get to that here in a second on a Wednesday edition of Locked On Hurricanes. Policy Genius is the country's leading online insurance marketplace. It saves you time and money so you can provide your family with financial safety net starting today. With Policy Genius, you can find life insurance policies that start at just $292 per year for $1 million worth of coverage. Some options offer same-day approval and avoid unnecessary medical exams. And the one good thing for me about having life insurance is the fact that if anything happens to me or my family, it's good to have that net coverage. That way they're taken care of, or just our family as a whole is taken care of. And with Policy Genius, it helps you compare your options from top companies, and their team of licensed experts is on hand to help you talk you through it. Talk to a team of award-winning agents who will walk you through the process step by step and to easily compare quotes from America's top insurers in just a few clicks to find your lowest price. And with Policy Genius, it gives you unbiased advice from a licensed expert support team, and which have They have no incentive to recommend one insurer over the other, so you can trust their guidance. Thousands of 5-star reviews on Google and Trustpilot from customers who found the best fit for their needs. Check life insurance off your to-do list in no time with Policy Genius. Head to policygenius.com/LockedOnNHL or click the link in the description to get your free life insurance quotes and see how much you could save. That's policygenius.com/LockedOnNHL. Welcome back to segment 2 of Locked On Hurricanes, your team every day. So I know on going into Tuesday's episode, originally the Hurricanes were supposed to practice on Tuesday, but they ended up not practicing on Tuesday. They will though practice on Wednesday at PNC Arena. Just that way, I guess, to give the guys a day off from all the craziness from Monday night, give them Tuesday off, and then they come back and practice on Wednesday. We'll have a very an interesting 2 days off in between Game 5 and Game 6. But Rod Brind'Amour did talk to the media, though, on Tuesday. And the one thing that was very, very important is the fact that there are a few things. One was that he shared that no one of the Hurricanes got hurt, and they all came out of Game 5 healthy, and there are no new injuries going into Thursday's Game 6. So basically everyone who played in Game 5, everyone's fine, good to go. Depending on how Brett Pesce is, everyone who played in Game 5 could be ready to go for Game 6. And, from Walt Ruff talking about the best quote that when he was asked about how he would balance making the changes after going down 3-0 in the series versus sticking with what made the team successful all season. And honestly, at first read, this is a very fantastic quote. And it's one of those ones where you don't usually read the whole thing, but just the fact of what Rod Brind'Amour said in this quote is why segment 2 is just nothing about is mainly about this quote in particular, outside of the fact that everyone's healthy from Game 5 and everyone should be good to go for Game 6. But this is what Rod Brind'Amour says about trying to find a balance, like I said, with changes going down 3-0 or sticking with what worked for the team. And this is what Rod Brind'Amour said. There are certain parts of your game now that we've got to get better. How much do you juggle it all around? How much does that make you better in the short term? You got to this point doing something right to be playing against the best team in the league in the playoffs. You had to have done something right to get there. So you've got to rely on that. You've got to be better, and you do make tweaks as you go, but you do fight that a lot. Just because something isn't working, if it's the power play, well, it was pretty good. Do you blow it all up? Do you trust these guys can get it done? You fight that all the time. At the end of the day, I think you've just got to believe in the guys. And that last little part has been circulating around social media, especially Kane's Twitter or X or however you want to call it, or just social media in general. That last part is, at the end of the day, I think you've just got to believe in the guys. And he's totally right. Yes, it's one of those things where you could blow it up. Okay, it's not working. You're down 3-0. The power play is not doing great. They're still putting the pucks on the net. They're still scoring goals. It's not like they've gotten shut out in any of the games. They've put 2 up. They've put 3 up multiple times. They just put 4 up on Shesterkin for the first time first time Shesterkin's given up more than 3 goals in a game in the entire playoffs. Going almost 30 games. And the Hurricanes can score. It's just, you put up 2, they put up 3, they put up 4. Yeah, the power play is struggling, but do you blow up the entire roster? Do you blow up the lines just because the power play is not working? No, and that's the thing where, yeah, Rod knows the power play needs to get better, but do you blow up in the entire power play strategy or the options and just throw all the guys out and go with a different crew? Yeah, he's made, like he said, you make some tweaks, and that's what they did. Brady Shea's now on PP1 and Brent Burns is on PP2. And it worked for Game 4. You saw Brady Shea get the game-winning goal on the power play. And it also helped too that Seth Jarvis, screened Igor Shesterkin, but you made that slight adjustment and you made it better. Granted, yes, now they're 1 for 20 in the series so far, but other than that, and I've been saying it, a lot of people have been saying it, the Hurricanes are statistically and analytically a better 5-on-5 team. And that's why you've seen Rod Brind'Amour has stuck with these lines through the entire series. Like, outside of sitting Kuznetsov and bringing in Max Comtois, that was the only real change in the forward core. And then they brought Kuznetsov back and he scored in back-to-back games. They wanted to try something different, didn't work. Brought Kuzi back in. Now he scored in 2 straight games. And that's the one thing I know a lot of people want to do some changes. I've even said maybe do some line tweakings, and Rod is stuck with it every single time. And you know what? Going into Game 6, I'm not going to question it because he's stuck with the same outside of that small swap of Kuzi for Comtois. The lines have been pretty much the same the entire series, and there's been no difference. Okay, yeah, they went down 3-0 after 3 games, down 3-0. Nothing changed in Game 4. Nothing changed in Game 5. It's been the same lineups the entire time outside of that one switch. That's really about it. And yeah, you try to make some tweaks. You try to make some things that might get you going. And they, like I said, they did a little bit of that on the power play, but in terms of 5-on-5, nothing's changed, and they've won back-to-back games now, and they forced a Game 6. After everyone said they were going to lose in Game 4, and after everyone said they were going to lose in Game 5 at Madison Square Garden. Not everyone, but you know who I'm talking about. There's a lot of people who are fully bought in that the Hurricanes are going to bring it back, or they're cautiously optimistic, but after how they won Game 4 and stuff like that. But my point is, a lot of people didn't think the Hurricanes would have gotten here to force a Game 6, and now they have, and there's not been, like I said, there's not been a lot of changes. And that's the one thing Rod really emphasizes is the fact that you got to find a balance in fighting against, okay, it's struggling. I need to do something to fix it. Maybe if I tweak this and tweak that and do this and do that. Rod didn't do that. He's stuck with his guns. He's stuck with the lineups that have been working for them, especially in the first round and, as the season progressed. And like I said, nothing's really changed for Game 4 and Game 5, and the same lines got it done. The same lines in Game 3 as well. After they went, when they went down 3-0, nothing's really flipped the switch. So I know a lot of people are still wondering about why would you go back to Frederik Andersen? Freddie Andersen had a great Game 5. Had a .952 save percentage, saved 20 of 21, and got you a win. Yeah, after he kind of had an okay first and second game. Game 4 they did win, but it wasn't the greatest, but still got the job done. But he came out in Game 5 and did the thing. And a lot of people have been saying it too, is the fact that Frederik Andersen is on the team next season, and Rod is letting him know, hey, yes, we did sit you, but we're giving you rest because you are our guy. You are our number one goalie. And he is sticking with Frederik Andersen because Frederik Andersen had a great end of the regular season. Yes, he missed a lot of time, but he has been their guy. He was their guy in the first round. They won the series in 5, and they wanted to stick with him some more because they know that what they get in Frederik Andersen. Yeah, Pierre Kachekov plays great too, but you know what you're getting in Frederik Andersen. And that's the thing with, why Rod doesn't want to change a whole lot of things because they were letting Freddie know, you are our guy, go win us the series. And that's why he doesn't make a lot of lineup changes either. You don't see guys flipping up and down the lineup and stuff like that. So, yeah, I've been saying maybe there's some lines that maybe should work out. Rod hasn't changed it, and somehow it's worked. So that's why it's like, it's when you, like I said, you look at the quote and it's like, he knows the team has to play better, but how much do you juggle it around? He said, how much does that make you better in the short term? And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but the fact that he's stuck with his guns and it's worked out pretty well. And, you have to find that balance of, do you switch it up, or do you think you just keep it and trust the guys that can do it done? And like I said, that last bit of the quote is, I think you've just got to believe in the guys. And that's what Rod Brind'Amour did. He believed in his guys, and they've got it done in back-to-back games. And that's why you see we have a Game 6 tomorrow night back in Raleigh on Thursday, just to get the job done and hopefully, go 1-0 one more time to hopefully force a Game 7. But I thought this was a very powerful quote. And I know, and like I said, a lot of people the Hurricanes posted on their social media the other day is the girl with the wearing the Hurricanes jersey with the Ted Lasso mustache with the belief sign. And right now, that's kind of what we're doing. It's believe. It's all the Hurricanes fans, the Caniacs. We are embracing the Ted Lasso's believe, and that's all you gotta do. And that's what I'm going to reiterate going for Thursday's show as well when we preview Game 6. Believe. That's all you have to do right now. You just got to believe in I said it after Game 3 last week. I'm going to bring it up again. You just got to. The series is not over. You got to win 4 to finish the series. And right now the Hurricanes have won back to they've won 2 straight games, and then they forced a Game 6 where they hopefully can do it again to force a Game 7. But right now, all you just got to do is believe, and you got to believe in the guys. And after Monday night's win, when they down 1-0 after 2 periods, and you come back and win 4-1, all you can do right now is believe. So we are going to talk about Jake Guentzel here real quick, just for a little bit to end the episode, and we'll get to that right here in a second on a Wednesday edition of Locked On Hurricanes. It's winner take all time in the NBA and NHL, and FanDuel's giving you a shot to bring home a big win of your own. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 to bet on spreads, money lines, player props, and more. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and make every playoff shot count. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Welcome back to segment 3 of Locked On Hurricanes, your team every day. So real quick, we're going to talk about Jake Guentzel and the fact that the last 27 games that he's played for the Carolina Hurricanes, and that's including postseason and the regular season. And right now, this is just for all strengths. This is all strengths and even strength as well. But this is kind of what we've seen from Jake Guentzel since joining the Carolina Hurricanes. And yeah, he did miss 3 games in the regular season, came back, played 17 in the regular season. Now he's played 10 in the playoffs. But this is his stats for the first 27 games with the Carolina Hurricanes. So for all strengths, he's got 12 goals, 22 assists, and 34 points, which is a 1.26 points per game, which is, going into the playoffs, Jake Guentzel had a .59. He was the 3rd best all-time in terms of points for the playoffs. That's how good he is, and he is a point-per-game guy across the board in general, and that's what the Hurricanes went and got him for. And just on even strength, he has 32 goals on ice for and 10 goals against, which is a 76.2% goals for percentage. For the fact that he's technically a plus 22 in terms of goals, you love to see that. And he's also a 63.6 times goals for expected goals for percentage. If you're expected a 63.6%, goals for percent, you'll take that. You'll gladly take that from Jake Guentzel. The fact that he's gotten it done to where you have a goals for percentage of 76.2 and a 63.6 goals expected goals for. You'll take that, and that's why it's such a great move for the Hurricanes to get Jake Guentzel. Like I said, in all strengths, 27 games, 12 goals, 22 assists for 34 points for a 1.26 point per game. That is why you went out and got Jake Guentzel. That is why you give up draft picks. That's why you give up Michael Bunting, Vasily Ponomarev, and a couple other prospects. And the Hurricanes broke their usual mandate of they don't go for rentals. And right now, that's what they did. They went after Jake Guentzel, got him as a rental, and now they're hoping, they do want to sign him. I would not put it past Don Waddell and his crew to go out and try to get Jake Guentzel back for next season and beyond. Now, what the AAV is going to be, we don't know for sure. But the fact that they went out and did that, they broke their own protocol, went out and got a guy for a potential rental, even though he says he does want to. He wants to stay in Carolina as well because he likes the area and he likes the group. But 1.26 points per his points per game in 27 games. That's why you got a guy like that to help you in the playoffs to be that guy to get you over the hump, because he hasn't won a cup with the Pittsburgh Penguins and he wants to win another cup. That is why Don Waddell did what he did to go get Jake Guentzel. And right now he has proven more than more than adequate enough to be that dude that the Hurricanes were really hoping for in the playoffs. And that's why kind of where we're at right now with the fact that he set up Aho in game 4. How good he played, didn't really didn't get on the score sheet in game 5, but he did enough to make the team work hard and fight to keep their hopes alive. So Jake Guentzel has been playing more than phenomenal for the Carolina Hurricanes. So that will wrap up a Wednesday episode of Locked On Hurricanes. Like I said, as always, thank you to the Everydayer for making this your first listen of the day. If you want to follow me, I'm at OneShireZach on X. If you want to follow the podcast, it's LO_Hurricanes. If you click the link tree in my bio, you can find where to find all my articles, newsletters, and premium content over at the Hockey Writers. You can also check out my writing over at the Calder Times for anything AHL related. You can check out where to listen or watch my other podcast on YouTube, The Surge Cast. You can check that over there. And also you can find links to listen to this podcast of Locked On Hurricanes on all podcast platforms. And make sure you leave a 5-star rating and leave a review as well. And if you do leave a review with your 5-star rating, I just might rate it on the podcast. And also you can find where to watch this episode as well on YouTube. If you go to the YouTube, make sure to subscribe. Hit the bell notification so you don't miss the show, and also hit the thumbs up button because I would greatly appreciate that as well. And also share it with all other Hurricanes fans that you know. So hopefully they become everydayers just like you, because right now we are over 850 subscribers and we are on goal right now to get to 1,000 subscribers. And if we do, I might just do something special for you guys. So make sure to do all that. And in the comments, let me know what you think of how Jake Guentzel has been for the Hurricanes. Do you think that it was a great move by Don Waddell? And do you think he's proven himself more than enough to be the reason why the Hurricanes went and got him? And also let me know, do you believe the guys just like Rod Brind'Amour? So let me know in the comments that if you do believe, and also how do you feel about Jake Guentzel? But I hope everyone's a great rest of your Wednesday. Hope everyone enjoys it. And we are just one more day closer to Game 6 on Thursday night. But until next time, guys, as always, let's go Canes.